Hello guys, welcome back to another video. It's certainly been a while and I apologize for that. And today I'm outside, as you can see, and it's a bit cold, so I might have a bit of shortness of breath. My voice may not be as clear and I apologize. And so today I want to talk to you guys about an idea regarding identity. And what exactly does something like identity mean? And more specifically, when I talk about identity, I want to talk about commitment and committing to certain actions. When I think of a bridge, I think, okay, there's a starting point, there's an end point, and then there's a middle body. And so when we cross a bridge, we start at one point, we could go to the other point, or we could just stop at the midpoint. And so I started reflecting. That may be what a physical bridge looks like, but how does a mental bridge look? And so when I started thinking about this mental bridge, okay, when we have a mental bridge, we really only have 2 points. We have a starting point and we have an end point. But now, what does the context of a mental bridge mean in what I'm specifically discussing? Oftentimes, as human beings, we'll be in certain situations where we are confused. We don't know what we want. We don't know what we stand for. And the truth about confusion is you can be confused from a question standpoint, but if you are confused about your identity, things in your life are simply going to be difficult. You're going to struggle at times. And so as human beings, we're always searching for this answer. We're searching for this magical answer. Okay, who am I as a human? And what exactly does that represent? What exactly does that mean? And so we start trying new things. We start trying to do new things to discover who we are, to find our identity, find ourselves. And that is where I noticed something. If you are going to try something, try and discover yourself, to try and find out who you really are, you have to commit to it to the fullest of your ability. You have to commit to it mentally and entirely. For instance, in grade 12, I had really good grades, for example. I had a lot of things going for me in life that just simply worked out. And so I tried implementing that same style into university. But obviously that style hasn't been working. So I reflected, it's like, okay, well, what I did before wasn't working. So maybe what I do now, maybe the new style I implement should work. And so I started reflecting about that. But the issue is I still held on to certain parts of my past identity. And when I speak about identity in this context, it's not something hyper specific to or to your entire identity. Maybe identity of just one specific section. And to me, it was like, okay, my identity with academics. And so I was so focalized on changing it. However, I could not commit to that change. I would I would change my study habits. I would change certain elements of what I did. I would change certain aspects of my mentality, my belief. I would change my idea, like, okay, do grades define me? Does a number define me? Does the studying define me? But the thing is, when I would make that commitment, when I would make that belief or that desire to change, I wouldn't change 100%. Part of me would hold on to a former identity, to an old identity. And through holding on to that past identity, what happens is I stopped in the middle of the bridge. Now, as I mentioned before, that mental bridge, it only has 2 points. It has a starting point and an end point. And so what I mean by that is, if you're going to do something, you have to commit to it. No matter what aspect of your life it is, you have to give it commitment. You can't half-ass your way through things. And that's what I learned this year. Say, okay, if I'm going to change myself mentally, if I'm going to change my mindset, if I'm going to win, I have to commit to this new plan. If I'm going to go look for a job, I need to commit to that. I need to look every day. I need to apply, reapply, and apply. If I want to get ripped, if I want to be buff, if I want to have a good physique, I have to go to the gym. I have to eat clean. I have to do this. I have to do that. And that is a truth I learned this year, and it's still a truth I am struggling with. And it's the idea that, okay, if you're going to do something, if you're going to make a change in your life, you have to commit to that change entirely. You have to commit to that change through its entirety. You can't start at one end of the bridge and you can't start halfway. The start of the bridge is your old identity. The end of the bridge is your new identity. But there's no middle ground. The mental bridge is point A to point B. Point A to point C, sorry. There is no point B. And so you have to cross that entirely. You have to give up certain aspects of your past. And when I say certain aspects of your past, this is primarily targeted at the mental state, the mentality. You can't be hyperly conflicted. And obviously, it's a natural human emotion. And that's why I'm here to tell you guys, it's an emotion that we have to fight. It's an emotion you have to fight if you are to resist. Because if you really want to change, if you really want to make changes, you have to commit to those changes. If you have a plan of action, you have to commit to them. Beyond committing to them physically, you have to commit to them mentally. You cannot, with your mental psyche, you cannot be at war with your mental state. You have to find peace in accepting that new change, and that new change will come to fruition.